Hit record? Never mind.
Oh, well, it's already recording, but go ahead and ask a question.
Sorry, just
That's
because
right.
I don't know who watches this. And I'm sorry I came in late. What were you saying about essential? The new
Amino acids.
yes, thank you.
Before we start, I will say I know very little about them. And the reason I know very little about them is that they are for active people. They're part of their active program. So it was designed for people who are athletic, they're working out. My understanding is that they are to assist with muscle recovery after a workout. I do not work out. And I've shared this before that I've twice tried to add exercise into my daily plan. And my body says, nope, I'm not going to give up any weight if you're going to do that. So I'm waiting until I get to maintenance, and then I will start gradually increasing my activity, but I will never be active enough where I am going to, except on a very rare occasion where I might go for a long bike ride or something, but that's not going to be the norm for me. And so I have no need for them.
Yeah.
They also, I know, are they are counted as your optional snack.
Yeah.
So if you don't normally do optional snacks, there's that. I don't like, as I said, I don't like to drink my calories. So that's another reason why I wouldn't do it, and they're expensive.
Yeah, they are. I was just wondering because my coach is heavily, I'm not going to say pushing it, but she's heavily wants everybody to partake in it.
Yeah.
And so my thought was, number one, I know she said if you're active, then you would do 2 scoops a day. I have not ordered it. You would do 2 scoops a day. If you're not active, you would just do 1 scoop a day. And so,
it's just a marketing thing. Like, really, trust me, I love Optavia. I really do love the program. It has saved my life. But it's totally not. If it was a necessary part of the program, they would have had it a long time ago.
Right.
And if people want to take it, have at it. If it is helpful to you, have at it. I am one of those coaches that I've never asked a client to be a coach. I would never push somebody to buy something that they don't need or that they don't want. That's just not who I am. I am in this as a ministry and not as a business.
Right.
So, I have clients who buy every other month.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll still talk to you as often as you need me. That's what I'm here for. I'm not making, yes, I am making money off of my clients, but I could care less if I've done. So,
I don't know. And she is a big believer, but she is one who does go out and she does physically exercise. And so,
and it's probably great for her.
But I've got a lot to lose, and my thing is I don't want to rock the boat, and I don't know if it would rock the boat, but I just like, okay, I want to keep going. And so I haven't, and I don't. And, I've heard the thing, once you're past 30, that you lose this much percentage of your muscle mass and blah, 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 blah. And I know there's scientific reasons. I don't follow that, and maybe I should care, but I don't. And so I have not ordered, but I'm just curious to see y'all's take on it.
One thing I would say, before you go out and spend money on them, I would see if you can find a similar product at Kroger, at whatever, that is not going to cost you $90.
Right.
And try it and see, get enough for a week and see if you notice any difference. And, you know, then if you want to give Optavia your money and do it that way, go for it. But oh, that was
Bye.
sweet. Oh no, that was the sweetest thing.
Hi, Bill. That's Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Hi. He's my biggest supporter.
That is amazing. That is,
And we'll be coming to see you soon. Go ahead.
all right. All right. So that's my take on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let's talk about element 6. The question at the top is, how do you create a healthy weight? And the answer is, you create a healthy weight. I highlighted that. It made me laugh. I thought that was really funny, that we create it by creating it. I don't know how that actually works, but a couple of things that I highlighted on that, and then I'll get some feedback from you guys because I have a little thought to share. For the vast majority, the decision is emotionally driven to lose weight. So 45 million individuals in the US every year go on a diet.
Yep.
That's a huge number. And the vast majority do it because it's emotionally driven. They want to look better. They want to look cuter in their clothes. They, you know, they're doing it for an event or something like that. Or somebody else is pressuring them to do it. And 85% of people who go on a diet gain all of their weight and then some back in 2 years. I am here to tell you right now, that is not going to be me. I will be in that 15%. I like absolutely. There's absolutely no way. And you guys can all rain down fire and brimstone on me, because as it says in there, it is insanity that we are looking at programs simply as a way to lose weight and not as a way to get healthy. And that is the complete difference for me with this program than anything else I've ever done. And maybe that is one of the reasons why I've done so well. I don't know, but I have made that connection to realize that this is not, for me, this is not a diet. I can't treat this like a diet because I can't afford to do this again. Emotionally, I can't afford to do it. Financially, I can't afford to do it. Maritally, I think my husband would kill me if I said I'm doing this again. I just, not really, but I'm absolutely not going to allow it to happen. And I think that the reason why, and we've all seen people come on Facebook groups and say, you know, I tried this program, but then I gained all the weight back. And I don't know if any of you caught the post that Paige Kaminsky put. I'm pretty sure she put it on the newbies page. It might have been on her page. I can't remember. But she said she's had conversations with people in the past. And the conversation basically goes, you know, this person says, well, I tried Optavia and it didn't work for me. I gained all the weight back. I lost some weight, but then I gained it all back. And she said, I always ask them the following questions. Did you follow the program? Did you follow eat the fuelings and the lean and greens the way that you were supposed to? Yes. Did you talk to your coach every week? Well, I did for the first few weeks, but then we didn't really talk very much after that. Did you read your life book and Habits of Health? What's that? I don't think I did. And, you know, did you participate actively in community? Did you try to build a community of support around you? Oh, no, I don't need that. So the problem is you did 25% of a program and expected it to work. And if you want to be successful in any weight loss program, in any healthy lifestyle program that you follow, whether it is Optavia or Weight Watchers or keto or Whole30 or whatever it is you try to do, if you treat it as a diet, then when you go off the diet, then you will go right back to your old habits, which means you're going to go right back to your original. Right. So you have to treat it, again, whatever you do, you have to treat it as a lifestyle change. This is a permanent change for me. I know I am not going back to pasta. I am not going back to fried chicken, fried foods. I'm just not going back there. I can't, because it's poison to my system. It was literally killing me slowly, and I'm not going to do that. And I had to make that. Will I miss those things? Sure. I love fried chicken, but I can't do it. I know that is, some people might be able to do that and say, oh, well, I can do that in moderation. I know for Lizabeth can't do that. And so Lizabeth is not going to do that. And you have to figure out for yourself what is going to work for you, so that you don't become one of those 85%. I mean, come on, guys, we can change that minority into a majority if we are determined to stick to this program and the guidelines that they are trying to teach us throughout the process. So that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have been in that 85%. This is my second time. And I told a friend of mine today, no, my coach this morning, that you can say something all you want to say. You can say it and you can say it and you can say it. But until you start believing it, and I really, this week, I'm not going to say had an aha moment, but I'm coming into, this is a lifestyle. This is not, if it's a diet, then it's going to be a diet, truly at that. Okay, you come off a diet, you go back on a diet. But this has got to be a lifestyle for me. Just briefly, this week, I left the house without a fueling, and I was going an hour and a half away, and I cannot believe that I left my fuelings. I knew I was having lunch with a friend, and so I'm putting it on the pages, the Facebook pages, and I thought, I panicked because I'm so used to now having my fuelings. I panicked. I thought, what do I do? And I knew I was going to have lunch, but that was going to be in 5 hours. And so I needed something. So I found myself, never in my life have I done this. I go into Quick Trip and I'm thinking, okay, what can I have? And I reached out and I finally found, you would be surprised at how many healthy, quote unquote, healthy protein bars and there are in Quick Trip opposed to just the Doritos. But I never knew that because I would always go for the Doritos. And I ended up finding a bar that I felt like was as close to an Optavia bar, micro wise, and I ate it and I took one bite of it and I thought, this is not, it was like a baby Ruth is what it was like. And I ate it for the protein and I was just frustrated with myself that I walked out. But I think that's when I finally started thinking, okay, this is a lifestyle. And going into Quick Trip, didn't get Diet Coke, didn't get a coffee, that's actually a creamer with coffee in it. And so I kind of felt myself changing and just thinking, okay, I can't go back to what I've done. So it was a good feeling anyway. So that's kind of how, you can tell yourself all the day long, I'm on this, but until you start living it.
Right.
And so, I don't want to go back to this. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being on a diet.
Right.
So
But you made the best choice that you could for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is important because yeah, you could have just said, well, just forget it. I'm going to get the peanut butter crackers or whatever. And you said, no, I'm going to look for something that is as healthy as I can find it.
Right.
And that's a great mindset to have, because you're developing that thing in your brain so that the next time when you're not on Optavia, when you're on maintenance, because you've lost all your weight, and you go into Quick Trip, you will say, I know I can go over here and find something that will help, that will fit the parameters of what I'm trying to eat. So anyone else have something to share?
Kind of do, unfortunately. I'm kind of like Cindy. This past week, I started July 1st and I've been spot on eating everything within the 2 to 3 hours, but then just getting busy with the grandkids and soccers and practices and games, and just there was like 3 times that I went over the 3-hour mark. And it literally like killed me because I let that happen. But it's because my life last week was just so busy and just so chaotic. But I also, like Cindy, normally I prepare, if I'm going to be out all day, I prepare for however many fuelings plus one, just in case. And I totally spaced it. I brought one fueling, but then I didn't account for the next time that I was going to need to eat again. And I like the feelings. So just the 3 times that I went over the 3-hour mark, it might have been 3 hours and 5 minutes, but it wasn't like 3.5 or anything, but still. And then forgetting that fueling, I just, you know what I mean? Like because I've been on program for a few months now, and it just killed me that I actually let that happen. So it's very frustrating that life sometimes gets in the way. And yeah, for the first time, it all happened in like 1 week, and I'm just like, I can't believe it type thing. But I did leave early enough. The day that I forgot that extra fueling, I left early enough to come home. So it wasn't like, it was like 3 hours and 5 minutes. It wasn't 3.5 hours or 4 hours after my last fueling. So I still tried to make it work a little bit, but I'm not stopping into any gas station to try, because I don't know if I could do it right now. I don't know if I could be the one to choose something good,
I was
or
looking
close
under
enough.
my car seats. Under this. I thought there's got to be a bar that is melted and has molded somewhere in this car, and I would have eaten it. But anyway,
you have to have grace.
Yep.
3 hours and 20 minutes is not going to kill you. 3 hours and 30 minutes is not going to kill. It's not going to kill you if it's 4 hours, right? It's just that your blood sugar levels, that's like really the reason why they want you eating every 2 to 3 hours. It's not going to throw you out of fat burn. It's, so have grace for yourself, and just know it's, do the best you can. Don't grab the donuts,
Oh, heck no. No.
And Carla, I saw that comment about goodbye crusty bread, because man, I am feeling sad about that. But yeah, and you said you have a bag of, I wish that I could get the chat to stay up there, bag of cereal in your car for emergencies. I have some of those, some of the crunchers. I have 2 little cruncher bags. Well, I had to eat one the other day. That I keep. I'll have to throw some cereal in there too, because that's always good, because they don't melt. They don't get all wonky if they're
True.
are for a little while.
My thing is the expiration dates, though. I'd probably forget that it was in there, and it, I don't want to eat anything past expiration. So that would be my thing, probably.
that doesn't bother me. It's just better
I
protein.
eat so many fuelings past the only thing that I've noticed is I have had some barbecue crunchers that were a couple months past the expiration date, and they were a little bit on the stale side, but other than that, everything I've had has been pretty much fine. Baby steps, the baby step approach, he talks about that on the next page. Your improving weight management will be a byproduct of simple baby steps. We can't make big, huge changes and expect them to last. You really do have to change something, just really focus on that and make sure that you're comfortable with that change before you move on. I teach a writing for a writing company that does a writing curriculum, and their approach to teaching new concepts to students is they follow what's called the easy plus one. So they learn a new concept and they practice that concept until it becomes easy, and then you add one more. And it's that same basic process is, with this whole learning how to eat healthier, is that whole easy plus one, which is why I like the way they do transition, because this whole 5 fuelings and a lean and green has become really easy for me. And now next week I'm going to add one, and then the next week I'm going to add one. So it's like, it is kind of that same little baby step process. But knowing that it is a lifelong transformation, and that I found it really interesting, both on page 154 and also in Habits of Health. If you did Habits of Health, it was section 2.1 on page 169. There's a little weight management phase chart, and I found it really interesting that maintenance is only phase 2. Like phase 1 is weight loss, phase 2 is maintenance, phase 3 is optimization. I have no clue what that means, but apparently it's after you've maintained for a while. I don't know. And then longevity. So, being able to live a longer, healthier, happier life. But I thought it was pretty interesting that, a lot of times we look at a diet, we're like a weight loss and it's over, but it's not over. It's like losing the weight and getting to that healthy weight is just the beginning. Then you have to figure out a way, follow the plan so that you can continue on the program. He uses in Habits of Health, he talks about kind of in the interim between section 1, which is what we did through the first 5 units, and section 2, which is called Your Journey to Optimal Health and Well-Being. He gives a little illustration about the rocks, the pebbles, and the sand. Have you guys all heard that, or did you read that illustration? Where, if you try to put the little things in the jar first, if you try to put the sand in the jar and then put the pebbles in the jar, you'll never get the rocks in there. You'll never be able to handle or deal with the big things. But if you put the big things in first, if you focus on those 6 macro habits of, healthy weight, hydration, sleep, motion, mindset, and community, your surroundings, your family. If you deal with those first, then all of those other macro habits and micro habits and all the other little things can fit into your life if you will deal with the big things first. And I've used that illustration before as a teacher in multiple different ways. So it's a great illustration, but it is a really good reminder that if you have things to change, you've got to work on the big things first, and then all of the little pieces will follow. So he talks about reducing what I loved is this baby step, reducing your weight by 10%. So just losing 10% of your body weight can reduce your risk of disease by over 50%. That's just 10% of your weight. I mean, that was insane to me, to think how easy it is to improve your health. It's not that hard. And you will immediately see those health benefits, within a very short time of starting a weight loss program. The weight loss phases, he goes over, I just said the weight loss and then the healthy weight. Most of us are in phase 1. And he talks about how do you come up with a healthy weight. And I will say, two of those three I disagree with philosophically. We've talked about the BMI chart before, I think, in one of our sessions. I'm not a fan of the BMI chart because I don't think that there is a one size fits all for everybody. And I think we all have a particular image or idea of where we are going to feel our healthiest, where we are going to feel comfortable in our own skin. And I was laughing with my coach this morning because my goal weight is a lot of people's starting weights. If I could comfortably wear a size 10 to 12, I would be a happy camper. And a lot of people start at a size 10 to 12 and they want to be a size 2. I will never be, I don't want to be a size 2. I don't think I would look good. I mean, like, look at this right now. My collarbone is sticking out and I am still well above where the BMI chart says I should be. I mean, like, how much more is this going to stick out if I were to lose 30 or 40 pounds? Like, I have no desire to be that much smaller. And that's me. Like, so when I look at that BMI chart and it says, you need to weigh, whatever, I'm like, no, I'm not going to weigh that. And I have no desire to weigh that. And the same thing with the waist circumference that he talks about that too, that the waist circumference for, where is it? For a healthy weight for a male is 37 inches and for a female is 31 and a half. My waist measurement right now, I think, is a 36 and a half. I don't want to lose 5 more inches off my waist. Like 5 more inches, I would be too small if I did that. I'm not interested in that. So those two things, it may, for some people, definitely go for that. If that's what works for you, then do that. Nancy, I went by, she asked how I chose my healthy weight. I went by when I felt that I was a comfortable size 10, 12. And that was about when I got married, maybe a little like right before I had my first child, like kind of in that category. That's kind of where I chose my comfortable weight. I may get there and decide I still want to lose a little bit more, then I will. But I have, like, honestly, I'm pretty happy where I am right now. I still want to lose another 10 to maybe 15 pounds from where I am right now. Probably more like 10. And I am wearing a size 14. If I lost 10 pounds, I would probably get down to a 12. Totally fine with that. I can shop in any store. I can find pants. I can try on jeans. And so I'm totally fine not being even a size 8 or a size 6. Like, that's not Lizabeth. So I'm going to go with what I feel comfortable with and not ask my doctor's permission. I'm just going to do what makes me feel good and that makes me not feel stressed, like I'm not meeting somebody else's standard, which is how I felt for so long, was I wasn't living up to somebody else's ideal of where I should be. And instead of thinking about how do I feel? And where do I think I should be? Because I have to live with myself. And, my mother, God rest her soul, she was the most wonderful mother on planet Earth, but she put me on a diet when I was 12 and, beat into my head that I needed to weigh a certain weight. And I could never meet up. I could never get to that weight. Never. And like, I wanted her class ring so badly. I wanted her class ring. And she said I could have it if I got to a certain weight. And I never got to that certain weight. But when she died, I got her class ring. So, there's that. But it's really like, you really just have to figure that out for yourself. And yeah, use the BMI as a guideline, use the waist circumference as a guideline, but really pay attention to how do you feel and where do you think you are going to be the most satisfied. So that's my thought on that. What do you guys think about that?
Amen.
I am exactly like you. I am not looking to weigh 140 or 150. I told my coach I was going to get down to the weight that I was 10 years ago when I first met my husband. And I was happy at that weight. And so that's what I told her. And I think she was a little shocked. And I'm like, well, that's my first goal. And if that's where I want to stay, then that's where I'm going to stay. But if I decide to go another 20 pounds, then I will make that decision then. So everything you just said is how I feel as well. I was down to a size 8 30 years ago for a few months. Great feeling, but yeah, that's not who I am, and that's not necessarily where I want to be. So I totally understand everything you just said, and that is exactly how I feel too.
Well, I agree completely, because you also get to a point, at least I am, where my body's just, that's the weight I'm at. Like, I don't know why my picture isn't coming up, but it's not. But anyway, I've lost 100 pounds, not all on Optavia, and my body's at 150, and that's still overweight on the BMI. Ask me if I care. But I I haven't even started into transitioning and stuff because I'm diabetic, and my coach is also. And so when she transitions people, it takes like 3 months. It's at least 2 weeks at each phase of that optimization. And I think for us diabetics, that's really critical. We have to kind of stretch it out. But yeah, I think I've been at this weight for 2 months, and I keep thinking, well, I'll lose more weight and then I'll go into transition. I'm not losing more weight, but I'm not gaining weight. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
Good for you, Harriet, for losing 100 pounds.
It's been a journey, but only 40 on Optavia. I lost 60 before. So it's like there's nothing magic about Optavia foods, and who was asking? I'm doing the essential amino acids. I want to tell the CA. I don't notice, and because I'm a coach, so I'm trying it out. Honest to God, I don't notice any difference. I just have to be honest. And one of my clients ordered it and then changed her mind. So then I'm out $120 extra on that, because it's $60 for each bag. And usually, yeah, so they're very expensive. And I do work out, but even with working out, I don't notice a difference. And you're getting the essential amino acids in your proteins that you're eating anyway, your body.
That's interesting, because I'm not I'm not a nutritionist or a nurse or any medical person.
Right.
I don't really know what they're supposed to do, and surely there are foods that you can get those from, that you don't have to take a product. Like, can you add, like, you can add leafy greens or whatever more to your diet to increase those things? I don't know if you're a nurse or medical.
No, my coach was my former nurse practitioner, though. And so we're and both of us being diabetic, we're really doing studies on our own bodies.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, if you look up essential amino acids, it's in the lean part of your lean and green anyway, not to mention all the protein that's in all of our fuelings. So, I'll probably get fired. I don't care. I'm like, yeah, 4 or 5 clients, that's it. That's all I can handle. But anyway, yeah, you get essential amino acids from your food. So, and, I think that there's a particular person who happens to be in my line who's pushing this. He's really a bodybuilder type. And so that's who uses it. But it's like I said, to answer Cindy, that's your name.
I just renamed myself.
Yeah, and I don't know why my picture's not coming up, but anyway, just to answer your question, I don't notice any change at all. And I've been doing it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. And even when I work out, I don't notice a difference.
Well, and I wonder, I do wonder, like I said, I'm not rocking my boat right now. I do wonder, is it doing something to your muscle mass internally that we don't see? Is it healing or something inside of us that we don't see? But
that's a good question.
But at the same time, let's go back to the rock ages where they ate a lot of stuff and they didn't have powders to add to it to say, okay, you need more minerals and more here. So I get you. I don't know if it's doing, and I appreciate that because I'm having surgery. I'm having shoulder surgery on this coming Friday.
Oh.
And so it came up, well, okay, if it's supposed to help with your muscle mass and it's helped to whatever it's supposed to do, but I'm not going to dare start something right before a surgery, number one, but also, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to believe it or not because I don't know enough about it.
It's really expensive.
If I can interject, sorry, Kathy. I agree with what everybody said. My coach has not talked to me about it because I don't exercise heavily. She does. She rides a bike 36 miles and says by taking it, her muscles are no longer sore, that she doesn't have the recovery problems that she had. My daughter is also on this, and she's a marathon runner.
Oh, wow.
We have the same coach, and my coach recommended it for her because of the struggle she has as she's training for a marathon in 2 weeks, of the recovery time. And she said, you might want to get on this. So in my mind, what my coach has told me is if you're a very active, strenuous athlete, like a marathon runner, or you ride a bike 36 miles, or you do 100-mile hikes, then you want it for the muscle recovery. But for the normal person, no. Because she said, I don't exercise like that. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I kind of look at it this way. I don't know how long Optavia has been around, but it was never needed before. So wham, bam, it's September. All of a sudden it's needed. I just don't go for that.
Well,
Yeah,
and somewhere
no,
in the book, Dr. A says you don't need them. He's going to have to go in and edit his books now. I can't remember. Do you know, Elizabeth? It's in one of the elements where he says you don't need branched chain amino acids, additional ones. But what you said, Kathy, in terms of, for super athletes, like the people that you just described, I could see it then, but not for me.
I agree. And I think
there's not an index in the life book to look that up, and it's not. I don't see anything in the index of the habits of health, but I'll look.
Yeah.
But
I think it's like Lizabeth said. I think it's a marketing thing. It's new on the market. They want to push it.
Yep.
And some people have become victim to, others have not. But I think there's a purpose for it and there's not a purpose for it. And that's not being wisely communicated.
Right. Well, like I said, it's a product, and this is a company, and they're trying to make money, and that's the free enterprise system. They're welcome to do that and develop the products, but I don't get behind asking somebody or telling somebody that they need something that they don't really need just because I want to make some money. And so in my coaching group through my upline, you know, they've really been pushing it, and they were like, you know, everybody needs to be posting blah blah blah, and I've just, normally I don't ever say anything, and somebody said something like, you know, everybody needs to be making posts saying how much they love, and I was like, well, I don't know how I can push something that I haven't tried. And everyone's like, why haven't you tried it? I was like, because I don't exercise. It's not a product for me. Well, you can be supporting other people doing it. Okay, if you want to do it, that's great. But I'm not going to, if one of my clients comes to me and says, Lizabeth, you know, I'm, you know, really getting out there, and I'm, you know, running 20 miles a day, I really think I need this, and go for it and get it. But you know, I don't need it, and I don't know that other people, unless, you know, they are athletes like that.
If I get to where I'm running 20 miles a day, I'll eat the package too.
Yeah, no, I'm not a runner. Not a runner. We are going to get electric bikes, which is, I'm really excited about that. That's going to be
Those are great. I don't have one, but I've used them and they're great.
It'll be our Christmas present this year. But when we go to the beach in a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
we're going to rent them one day, because I haven't been on a bike in, I don't know, 30 years. I don't know if my butt still remembers how to ride a bike. But I'm not going to ride that far. We're only going to rent them for like a half a day, because I do know that if I ride a bike for a long period of time, I won't be able to sit down for the rest of the weeks.
Right.
I want to sit on the beach and enjoy the beach. Really, the rest of this chapter is very much going back over the structural tension of creating the habits. So once you know what your healthy weight goal is going to be, then he really repeats that exact same thing. What is your current reality? We did this in the last element. And then what are the secondary choices you're going to use to accomplish that? So you know, it's really, that's why I felt like this little element was very repetitive, and other than telling you how to determine what your weight should be, I didn't see a whole lot of great stuff in this particular one. But if anybody has anything else about element 6 to share, otherwise we've got about 10 minutes left, and we can Q&A, continue to chit chat, all that good stuff.
I would like to hear your A to a Q.
You'd like to hear what?
Your A to a Q. I got a question.
Sure. Oh, your A to a Q. Now I hear. Now, oh, good grief. Yes. What's your Q?
Why does it look like, when I measure out my vegetables, and I know there are a lot, why does Optavia on the pictures of that, and I'm speaking of, like, I did the chicken tenders with the coleslaw stuff, why do they put a picture that looks like maybe a fourth of what I'm actually supposed to eat?
Yeah, as far as I will say, I have a sister who is a food stylist. So she photographs food for like magazine pictures and things like that. And a lot of times, and I know for a fact, looking at the Optavia pictures, that the majority of the pictures that they have, I can guarantee you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, probably the majority of those pictures are not the actual recipe that you're cooking. I know
Well, good. I feel better now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I get so much vegetable.
The codfish sticks that they had, I don't know if that recipe's still up there, but it was a codfish stick. There's no way that the coating mix in the recipe would make the 7 ounces of fish look the way it does in the picture.
Right.
There's absolutely no way.
Well, it's just real deceiving, because you're already thinking you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And then you look at that and you're like,
you want it. And that's why when I post pictures, it's the actual, like,
right.
This is a serving. This is what your serving should look
Right.
like if you're doing that, because I know the picture is not always.
Okay.
at all.
Awesome. Good. I'll rest in peace now.
Yay.
There are some either leans or greens. And I remember from the beginning that I would weigh out the amount and I would think, oh my gosh, I am not going to eat. No way can I eat all that.
Right.
Specifically, and I'm really disappointed because specifically, I love cottage cheese. But have you ever tried to just sit down with tomatoes and eat a cup and a half of, of cottage cheese? It's like those last 5 bites, it's like, okay, just hold your nose and swallow it, you know?
Right.
Because and so, yes, I did do a trick in the beginning until I've figured out my vegetables. And I learned this, and I know that, you know, I don't know that it's wrong to hack a fueling. I don't do it anymore. And it's funny because where Elizabeth, you say you don't like to drink your calories. Right now I am on I'm in shake mode, you know. I have shakes and bars, and I will do some of your you know, mix your couple of fuelings together. But I would put a cup of my spinach in my NutriBlender with a chocolate shake.
Right.
Nasty looking. It looked like nasty because it had a green tint to it, but I couldn't taste it. But I've learned my vegetables, you know, sometimes when I sit down, and in fact, tonight, in fact, that'll be fun. What did everybody have for supper tonight? But tonight I've learned I can eat cucumbers and tomatoes. It's my go-to right now. I dice up cucumbers and tomatoes real small, and I half it. 1.5 of that, 1.5 of that. And I put my fat of salad dressing, like a vinaigrette, in it, marinate it, and I'll make 4 of them at a time. I'll just chop all those tomatoes. And anyway, so that's not a whole lot to eat. It's not like you can't, okay. But sometimes chicken is, you know, I think, oh my goodness, 6 ounces of chicken. I can't do it tonight. But tonight I basically, I put it in a little blender, and I ground it up, and to where it was also almost like minced chicken breast, you know, that was it. Then I put my well, I didn't have those vegetables tonight, but then I put my 1 fat of mayonnaise in it with some celery in it, and then a little bit of pickle in it, and I was able to eat it, you know, where I normally before Optavia, I loved that on saltine crackers or Ritz crackers. And so tonight I just had to say there are no Ritz crackers. You know, I did do some big celery sticks and had other vegetables, but that I hear what you're saying, because sometimes it's a lot of food.
Well, the good part of it is I happen to learn, I prep the meals and put them in the freezer. And that particular day that I made that coleslaw and chicken, I had made it before my 1 o'clock fueling. And I looked at it and I thought, there's no way I can eat that much. I just call it coleslaw. I know it's not. But anyway, I said, you know what? I can eat half of that for lunch or around lunchtime. So I got it all in because I don't think I could have ate it that night. It's too much.
Good. Yeah. Carla, you did the chicken pizza crust last night. Did you think the crust was your crust? I made it one time and it was so dry. It just didn't, I struggled with the chicken crust.
That's funny because I made it and it was so moist when I took it up out of the pizza thing. I had to let it set before I put it in the freezer. It was so moist.
Maybe I just need to try it again. Maybe I did it wrong. Who knows?
You may be making it more thinner than I had to, because you know, you really don't know how far you need to take it out. So.
Yes, I want the whole pizza too.
Yeah.
I don't want to only eat half of a pizza. Like I think that's why I like the cauliflower crust, because I get to eat the whole thing.
Yeah. She added cheese to it.
All right. Oh, thank you, Harriet.
You're welcome.
375 and 376.
Yeah. He better be editing this book.
Oh, that's Dr. A's.
Yeah, it's in the life book, not in Habits of Health. It's in life book.
Oh, life book. Well,
Oh,
what page?
375, element 18.
I'm definitely
Thank you.
flagging that page, man. Thank you. Just in case somebody comes at me.
Oh, I knew I'd seen it, and I was just bound and determined I was going to find it before.
Yeah, I would never have found that. That's too far, but I haven't gone that far in the book. Eventually I'll get there. Anybody else have anything?
Thank you for inviting me. I loved it.
Sure. I'm so glad. There are a couple of people who were like, they said they were going to be here. And then they didn't show up. It's just like every time it's like, oh, I'm definitely, I've got that on my calendar. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And then they don't show up.
But then there's going to be people tomorrow who say, what? How did y'all know about this? I didn't know about this.
Okay. I posted 3 times.
I know. I saw that.
But I wanted to make sure that I posted at least twice today. I posted yesterday.
Yep.
I posted it over the weekend or Friday. I posted at different times to try to get different people, because Monday morning is usually one of the busiest times on the newbies page. And so I made sure that I posted about it this morning with a reminder, and then posted again later this afternoon as another reminder, like making sure people know about it,
Right.
Not
But
everybody.
it's funny because you posted,
like I do. I'm always on
sorry,
there.
you posted the question about which would work better for you, and it seemed like most people were.
Yeah, everybody was
Monday.
like Monday. Yeah, Monday, like this time is good for everybody. Okay, well, all 18,000 people of you, there's a dozen of you here. Where's the rest of you?
Yeah. I have to say, I love this Facebook group. I've never been in such an active one with so many fabulous recipes. And I've been on the program. I started week 5 today.
Yay.
So there's so much there that keeps me enthused and motivated and things to try. And it's just, thank you. It's wonderful.
I like that it's real, and there's so many other, I am learning because of you, Elizabeth. I am learning that there's so many other Facebook pages out there that, coaches are saying this, and I want to say, whoa. Elizabeth will tell you that's not right, but I don't.
Exactly.
And the ish, the ISH of everything is just, it's like, stick with the plan, people.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing that I was saying at the beginning. If you're gonna, number one, if you're gonna spend, $400 or $500 a month,
Yeah.
then don't waste your money if you're not gonna do the program.
Right.
The whole, like every time someone says, I kicked myself out of fat burn because I ate, chips and salsa last night or whatever, and that's by Gail. And that's totally fine. That's, it's your journey. You do it however you want to do it. But just keep in mind that when you kick yourself out of fat burn, it's going to take you 3 to 5 days to get back into fat burn. And in just 3 days, you go through 2 whole boxes of fuelings, plus 1. And each box of fueling is $23.75 or something. So $24 a box. So $48 is that bowl of chips and salt.
It's 7 o'clock.
Worth $48 to you. Like, is it worth it? Then fine, have it. If you're willing to spend $48 for a bowl of chips and salsa, and that's going to make you happy, then you enjoy that $48 bowl of chips and salsa.
My coach said almost the exact words this past week, just in a group, and she did a video and said almost. And so, is that bite worth it?
Yeah, and for some people it might be. Well, I think about, I think we talked about this last time. The teacher who mentioned in one day about the little boy who came to her with a cupcake for his birthday, and he came from an impoverished home, and she felt like she didn't have a choice. She needed to eat that cupcake. Then by all means, that is a $48 cupcake right there. It is
Exactly.
it is worth every penny to see the smile on a little boy's face who doesn't have a lot of smiles happening in his life.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so you choose your battles. And there are times where you may step off of the plan, and you're totally okay with that. As long as you aren't going to come crying, or you can cry if you want to. I'm all right with that. But don't come whining about not losing weight this week if you didn't follow the plan.
Right.
It's that's not like, everybody else shouldn't have to make you feel better, because I'm sorry, but I'm just I'm such a rule follower, and it's just hard for me to sometimes have grace for people who, but you make your choices. So either make your choice and own the choice, or don't complain about it.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Well, here's one NSV about that.
Yeah.
Bill and y'all just met a while
Yeah.
ago. His birthday was Saturday. So I surprised him with my son and my daughter-in-law. We went to Ted's Montana Grill, because that's where we were when we passed your house. I told you, in the rain. We've gone out to South Dakota.
Did you come back to Nashville?
No, that was the day it rained, but we're gonna come see you.
Okay.
That's when I wish I'd known you had the pictures. That's another day for another story. But anyway, I surprised him because I was wanting some more buffalo, and so took him there and sneaked and made him his favorite pie, sour cream pie. And you can imagine the sugar in it. So, I was able to sit there, eat the salad with the buffalo, pull out the pie, and my daughter-in-law, my son, and him ate their pie right in front of me. But in my head, I'm thinking the whole time, that's okay, because I'm going to go home and fix my peanut butter milkshake and my ice cream little dash. That's what I did. Didn't have a bite of it.
Well, good for you.
And it felt good when you put your head on your pillow, didn't it?
Oh, let me tell you how good it felt. The next morning, I thought, well, I don't know about y'all, but when I go out to eat, even though I feel like I'm eating exactly what they say when you eat out, salad, meat, blah, 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 you always fear that you're still going to not lose or gain a little bit, just because it's not in your security zone. Right. And so I came the next morning, which was yesterday. I'd lost another pound.
Yay.
And my blood sugar was 102.
Wow.
I started this 2 months ago because I'm diabetic too, but I don't think I am now because I'm right there at that. I did my physical in a month. But when I started this program, I was running around 300 every morning.
Oh, ouch.
So that was, and they were miserable with their pie, eating a steak. So I was proud.
Good deal.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Good deal. I made I had one of my daughters and her fiance in last night or Saturday night. And I knew I had my grilled chicken. Mine wasn't.
Right.
But I made from scratch everything except the Costco chicken, rotisserie chicken that I demand. From scratch, a complete chicken pot pie.
Oh God.
And I mean, I looked at that and I thought, this looks so good. But then my next statement was, but eating this is what got me to where I am now.
Exactly.
And so we all had kind of the same salad. They had more on their salad.
Right.
But it's good to put your head on your pillow at night and say, okay,
exactly.
Job well done today,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So.
And it's really, honestly, they're like, how can you have that much discipline? throws me back to what Elizabeth said. Well, maybe it's because I paid over $400 for all that.
Yeah, yeah. That's that keeps me in line. Like I'm not gonna, I mean, honestly, we spend less money, including my Optavia bond.
Oh, I do too.
I spent $47 at the grocery store
Oh yeah.
Saturday for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes out less.
Like I spend less. So once I told my husband, I said, get ready for the grocery bill to start going back up,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm gonna be buying yogurt for, like, because that's going to be like my dairy, because really your options for dairy are milk, which I love milk, but I don't want to drink my calories.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like yogurt and milk is really your dairy, your fat-free, low-fat dairy options. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of yogurt. And so, that's going to be an expense, and fruit gets added in, which I'm excited about that. And,
I was telling somebody the other day, in fact, I was talking to the cashier at Kroger the other day, and I said, it's nothing. It's just like nothing. Pulling $100 out of your account now. It's like you, when you were, okay, $20 got you a good bag of stuff. Now it's just, that's the norm, it's just $100, at least,
Yeah, if I do a big grocery, if I go and do like normal protein, like there's a lot of protein on sale, because usually if there's a big sale on protein, I'll buy a bunch and then freeze it. Then I might spend close to $200 for a week, but that's food that we're not going to just eat that week.
Right. That's going to last. Yeah.
So, I did spend $47 at the grocery store, but my husband spent $300 at Costco. But the only thing he bought for me was shrimp and cauliflower rice.
Yeah.
Because that's, otherwise they had a big Procter & Gamble sale, and so we got deodorant, toothpaste, and floss, and all that good stuff. So anyway.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was
Thank
fun.
you. This was awesome.
We'll do our next element 7 was supposed to be next week because we skipped a week, but I think I am going to push it to the first week of October. So we'll do element 7, whatever that is, the 9th. Nope, the 2nd of October. And then and then just looking ahead, on the 16th, we can do element 8. And on the 30th, element 9. So as long as something else happen between now and then, actually, I won't do it on the 16th because I'm going to be at the beach.
Yay for you.
I'm going to be in Alabama. So let's do the 2nd and then the 23rd. And then we'll get into November. Eventually we'll get through all of them. I'm determined. I am steadfast, and we are going to get through this book. If it's the last thing I do, and it won't be the last thing I do. And I'm not going anywhere. So I may be transitioning, and very stupidly starting another Facebook page. So, because I have all the time in the world. It's just.
Well, thank you for what you give to us.
Yes.
It really does help. It truly helps. So
I appreciate it. Well, and honestly, this stuff like this and people's, asking me questions, that helps me. So it keeps me on task. It keeps me focused, and keeps me following the straight and narrow, man. Because if I screw up, I don't know what's going to happen. That's
a great top for you. It just shows your thinness.
Everything. Yeah, I agree.
Seriously, it's a good look. Oh, that's good. There's bones.
I got bones.
Red outfit. A red outfit this morning was beautiful too.
That shirt, that sweater, where I got that sweater?
Probably my favorite place, Goodwill.
No, I got it on Temu. I got it on that Temu site.
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
I'm scared to go there, but I guess it worked for you. Okay.
No, I have probably made 3 or 4 orders from Temu.
Wow.
And I've done Shein a couple of times too.
Yeah.
This is actually from Shein, this top is, and it's really pretty. It's got pretty.
It is pretty.
They have nice stuff. It's cheap and yeah. And I had to buy new underwear.
Yeah. NSV.
So, yeah, so I've gone from a size 10 to a size 7.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's so nice to like the size. I hung on to the size 10s because man, you can't just get great underwear. And yeah, today I just threw them out. I was like, no.
Since we're on the subject of underwear, if you want a great pair of underwear, you pay a little bit more for them, but man, are they Duluth Trading Company. I don't know if y'all have that. Oh my goodness. Their cotton briefs are like, they never ride up. They are the best. They're $16 to $20 a pair. And I know that sounds expensive. I know it does. But let me tell you, if I heard they were going out of business tomorrow, I would put in an order for the rest of my life. They're that good. My girls are all hooked on it. I've got friends hooked on it. Anyway, Duluth Trading Company, and there's one near us, and so I go there. But a lot of times they have sales, and I order online. They are the best. Anyway, that's mine.
I had to go in the other day and change my underwear when I went to work because I walked in and I had on like white pants that I hadn't wore in a year or two, and they were drooping and falling down under my pants. It was so uncomfortable.
Sliding
down, droopy
I'll even say this while I know we're recording, which I probably shouldn't.
I'll stop the recording.
Okay, stop.